Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. That's been all. And also joining me through Discord, it is my partner in crime, the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris?
Hey, buddy.
Bleach is back.
Oh, yeah. Also joining us is the disembodied voice of our producer. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
Oh, hey, what's up, nerds?
Hey, buddy. Oh, my goodness. So glad to be back. Oh, let's get into plugs right away because I can barely contain myself. We got so much to talk about. Like Josh said, Bleach is back. We have One Piece, we have Jujutsu Kaisen, we have a news story that I found kind of intriguing lately that I will be sharing after we get through with other stuff. But let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Aspinall on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram as well.
Yeah, Brian.
Find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh, hell yeah. You can also follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter especially because we do a really good chapter of the week poll for the audience of the podcast to decide what their favorite chapter was. And we have una usurper. So this week is going to be quite a surprise. So follow us on Twitter. Let us know your thoughts on the week chapter. What's your favorite chapters? The chapters usually go. The poll usually goes up on the Sunday that the chapters are released on officially on Weekly Shonen Jump's website. So tune into us then and cast your vote. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, anything you guys want to talk to us about, or request that we talk about, you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com. Yeah, do that. What else? Comment, subscribe, like the podcast on YouTube, share the videos. We work really hard on them, and we love doing them. So please share it to the world. Or if you prefer audio versions of the podcast, those usually go up first on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts, we are likely on there. So check us out. And I think that's it. I think that's it for plugs. Let's get into it. We're going to start with one-shots. One-shots is just random segments we do when we want to talk, shoot the shit about stuff, the things that are going on. We're starting today with the big return of Bleach. This is a Bleach one-shot by Kubo himself, came back. And man, we're not going to go into it in super depth. I'll go through the general plot points. First of all, I do want to comment on this really cool color page. I really like it. Very cool. Josh, what do you think about the color page? Do you like the color page at all?
Sorry.
Damn. Is that how much Bleach has fallen in your estimation? You can't even admit the art's fire?
You see, complicated, Chris.
Well, in any case, we have a multitude of little stories going on here. We have two major stories. One of them is like the big centerpiece, and there's a little side thing going on that we don't get a lot of details going on. First of all, Ichigo's son seems to be making a habit out of sneaking away from home after he was supposed to go to bed, I guess. So that's interesting, I suppose. The main story seems to be that there is a festival going on, a traditional festival amongst the Soul Society. It happens every 12 years. There is a ceremony that the captains of the Soul Society Corps do to honor their fallen. And it's a really kind of mysterious thing. The ritual is that they find a hollow and they kill it in front of their grave. as some weird ritual thing. And even Ichigo's like, that's fucking weird. And Renji's like, I don't know, dog. It's tradition, I guess. So, we just got to do it.
They also say that they're all weirded out by it because it doesn't happen very often where people actually fall in combat in the Soul Society. So they haven't really had a use for it in modern Soul Society, I guess.
Yeah, they haven't had to do it for a while. They did it for pretty much everybody who's died in Bleach canon as we saw it. Unohana got one. Genryosei had one. Genryosei's best friend, whose name I forgot, got one, I think. A lot of people. And this year they're doing it for Ukitake, who was one of the big two boys, him and the Shadow Mane.
Yeah. When did he die?
He died, I think, during Yobak's thing, I think. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've read Bleach all the way through. I'm in the middle of doing it, though. So, maybe my memory...
You're doing God's work, bro.
It's not bad at the beginning. Early Bleach is great. I'm enjoying reading it. Don't worry. Well, I'll get to my thoughts later. We have, I guess, to bury the lead here, we have a very complicated relationship with Bleach. Not as you could see by Josh's chagrin face. But in any case, yeah, the captains all gather for the ceremony. We get introduced to two new characters. One of them is Yayahara, who is the assistant captain of the 8th Company, and Atao, assistant captain of the 7th Company. So
and also Death, right?
No,
Death Boy.
He's not Death.
Wow, that sounds horrible.
What?
I think there's an assistant captain that's deaf. Or at least
deaf.
He can't speak.
Oh, I think he's mute, but I could be wrong. I think he's deaf, probably. He's probably deaf. It's fine. In any case, yeah, they all gather for the ceremony. Rukia and Renji's daughter is also there, but she's not supposed to be there because it's only assistant captains and above that's allowed to be there. Ichigo is invited basically because he's family now. He's been through so much with them, and he's practically strong enough to be a captain. So why not have the guy there?
Sure.
So yeah, they're up there. I guess they're waiting on the assistant captains to capture a hollow and bring it to them. And as Ichikai is Renji and Rukia's daughter is just looking on, trying not to get caught. We see a hell butterfly right above her, which is prominent as we see later. And in that moment, she just starts to sense something. She looks up, and there's this beastly fucking monster just chilling behind Renji and Ichigo.
Now, this shit look creepy.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Not anything we've ever seen before. At first, I thought it was a hollow, like pretty much they thought as well. But yeah, it just slaps Renji down, giving us the nostalgic feeling of Renji getting bodied pretty early.
Oh god!
I mean,
reopening the old wounds.
I mean, he's playing
no
the
pun
hits.
intended. I swear there was no pun intended with that.
Yeah, no, Kubo's
But
playing
it's
the hits
true.
early. He's like, all right. Renji gets.
For those of you who don't know, there was once a podcast before this one, the times of us covering Bleach a long time ago was one filled with anger and despair.
No,
one might say.
I was gonna get into it at the end of it all. We'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that one because I do have memories of those times. I actually have some of those episodes, but put a pin in that. So as soon as Renji gets motherfucked by this thing, Ichigo slashes it away with ease, and other ones just pull up out of nowhere. It's not looking good for everybody because these things don't have any spiritual pressure, and they're I guess difficult to get rid of. The assistant captains show off their cool powers. Atao seems to be able to manifest birds, and those birds disintegrate everything they touch, which is kind of rad. I like Yayahara's power. I guess it's just like her hands are like fangs, like a bear's fangs. It's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I will say that one of the things I missed about Bleach is like the unique powers of the Shikai and the Bankai. I thought they were kind of cool. Kira even makes an appearance again. It's been a while. As Renji.
Oh, is that to do with the two horns?
No.
Yeah.
No, that's the guy who's like security guy. We've never seen him fight. I think
he's the assistant to Mayuri.
Oh, is he?
He's just vice captain. Yeah, which is pretty lit. We haven't seen him fight before, and he
has
totally destroyed this whole hollow by himself.
No, yeah, Kira's the guy, that has the hair over his eye and stuff.
Yeah.
He was like a traitor guy. He was not cool. You don't like Kira?
He was one of the visors.
No, he was not one of the Visoreds.
He was not?
He was a bad guy in the Soul Society rescue arc. Kinda, I guess. Like I said, we haven't read Bleach in maybe 10 years, actually. It has been a while. In its entirety? I don't know.
Way to make me feel old, bro. Good looks.
This whole chapter made me feel old, I'll tell you what. But in any case, Renji is about to get up and join the fight, but he is chained down. Some guy pulls up from the depths of hell, and it turns out
some guy indeed.
His name is Sayel.
Well put.
It's Sayel Aparo. You remember Sayel Aparo?
How did you know that his name was pronounced that way?
It took me a couple things mentally to read it. I sounded it out. Like
mental gymnastics just to read a word, just to read a name.
I learned the rule.
I mean, I guess if you know what language it's from, you can kind of.
I don't know what the fuck it is. But I'm used to Bleach. Remember Najakub? That was it.
That was the thing with all the eyes? Was that the
I
thing
don't
with
even
all the
remember
eyes?
what he looked like. I do remember. Najakub. So, this is standard Bleach. If you're going to read it, you need to know 7 languages in order to read Bleach. It's a very complicated series.
Like German or something.
But in any case, Sayel Aparo pulls up and is like, "Hey, sup? I'm back from hell." And he is one of the Espada. He used to be a Hollow, which seems to be important because he talks about how, like, when you go to hell as a Hollow to a degree, you cast away your Hollow yoke. My hole is no longer bound to my chest, and that's something that all of these beasts have in common. Is that, like, they seem to probably be former Hollows, and the holes that usually appear in their chest where their souls are now exterior, like around their bodies, as opposed to like in them.
Mm.
And he also gets a cool Tryon horn as well.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, we got a full splash page of Sayel Aparo flashing his horns, and I'm like, man, his art. It's been a while. I just got blown away by his art.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean,
this chapter was 73 pages, and it definitely felt like a weekly.
Yeah. Renji tries to fuck off with his daughter because his daughter pulls up and tries to save him. So he just grabs her and tries to get away, but it is of no avail because he is getting chained the fuck up by Sayel Aparo. But who's there to save them but Ichigo? Kurosaki. And his new hairdo, I'm digging it. Of all the sequel hairdos, Ichigo's probably got the best one. I think Naruto's hairdo in Boruto is very subdued.
Yeah,
He's a very regular guy. Ichigo still got style. But yeah, it's now going to be about Ichigo versus Sayel Aparo. Meanwhile, in the Soul Society, it seems that there is this black muck descending upon the Soul Society. I'm trying to remember this girl's name. I remember she had cool martial arts thing. She was
the butterfly chick with the big ass gun.
She had a gun, right?
Yeah,
she had a cannon. That was her bankai.
Crazy,
dude.
Son.
I mean, come on.
She didn't like it.
Come on.
Yeah, I forgot her name too. Come on, bro.
Soifon.
I had the captains' names, man, just so I could remember what the divisions were and what they meant.
It's soy
and I totally
fun.
forgot to read it.
It's soy fun. Oh my god, I'm remembering.
Soy fun. Wow.
I'll tell you what, man. I will say that like when I was reading this chapter, I didn't remember most people's names, and I can feel my memories come back together. And I was like, I even forgot Hitsugaya's name. I was like, oh, it's the kid. What's his face?
Oh yeah, that is his name. Hitsugaya.
I'm like, oh.
Um.
This must be what like characters of Kingdom Hearts feel when they're getting their memories back.
Yeah.
The orchestral version of Simple and Clean is playing in the background as I'm reading this. All right, we never learned this guy's name. We always called him Shadow Man, even when we were reading. Even when we were reading Bleach.
Word.
Shadow Man, second captain guy, stops the muck from descending upon the Soul Society, and he explains that it is phosphoplasm from hell. And everybody's like, fucking what? And in so many words, he explains that way back in the day, there was some kind of scale to separate aristocrats in the Soul Society from a lower class known as Spirit class. Normal Soul Reapers had 20 class Reishi. Assistant captains have 4th or 5th class, and those higher, like captains, were 3rd class and higher. And when Soul Reapers die, their bodies usually get returned to the Soul Society, and the whole ritual ceremony that they've been doing is so that Soul Reapers with higher than class 3 Reishi could have their spirit energy restored to the Soul Society, because it doesn't go back naturally for whatever reason. But unfortunately, they learned recently that Reishi that is 3rd class and higher can never return to the Soul Society. And with the Kanso Reisai ceremony, captains that die are sent to hell. So this whole time, they've just been sending characters of captain class who die into hell because their soul energy can't go anywhere else. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Saelaporo is there because he has a spirit energy of 3 or higher. So yeah, Rukia is like holy.
So they've been casting people to hell this entire time.
Not just people, the strongest.
Yeah,
fucking people.
Yeah, Genryu says down there. It's Mr.
Yeah, whatever.
Big old man fire dude.
Yeah, he's lame.
He took down Wonder Wheeze, dude.
No, he didn't.
Didn't he?
Didn't he lose?
Oh, he did lose because Wonder Wheeze was
like
specific.
a tie.
Oh yeah, because he fell to the weakness that most Bleach characters does. Is they end up fighting somebody that is tailor made to destroy them at all times. You're right. Wonder Wheeze, he didn't lose. He didn't beat Wonder Wheeze. But anyway, he's down there now. And here's the thing: is that they honestly didn't know, because all of this shit is kind of legend, and like ritual. The assumption is that they're sending their spirits off, but they don't know for sure until literally all their worst fears confirmed right now. The worst is true. So Unohana's even down there. So, and that's a big deal. And as Saelaporo is explaining this, the gates of hell open up behind him, and a sword thrusts right through his chest, and it is the Shikai or the Bankai of Ukitake. So now they literally just sent Ukitake to hell with this whole thing. It's pretty fucked. And the gates of hell closed. As Saelaporo leaves them with this kind of cryptic last words where he's like, haven't you ever wondered why the butterfly that guides Soul Reapers have hell in their name? So that the gates close, and then we end with Ichigo's son, who is just following hell butterflies. And he has this little scene in the very beginning where he's opening portals with this spirit. And I'm presuming that he's able to open portals straight to hell, because he mentions that like everyone's down there in the very opening pages. So, yeah,
And that's definitely his Shikai. You're right, man. Wow.
And that's where the chapter ends. It is a one shot. The end. ... Sheesh. All right. I don't know if it's that this chapter is genuinely very good or my genuine nostalgia for Bleach is rearing its big head here. But I'm going to
go with the latter.
I'd like to think it's the former or a little bit of both. I don't think there's anything wrong with it being both. I thought this was interesting. From what I understand, Kubo has had a tumultuous relationship with Jump over his tenure writing Bleach. And it's not necessarily to excuse him for the bad stuff that came out of Bleach, because there was certainly bad stuff. Like Brian mentioned before,
certainly.
Before New Jump City, there was Comics Pod, where me and Josh, as college students, would basically rip Bleach to shreds on a weekly basis.
Yo, we dragged the corpse, bro.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah, but I don't know. It only hurts because I mean, I don't know about Josh, but I love Bleach so much, so it only hurts.
So did I, man. I thought it was at one point my favorite between that and Naruto.
Yeah.
And then it just.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, and this is off the little bit of research that I've done. Maybe if you guys in the comments can clarify even further, but Kubo has had like troubles with editorial stuff, and I don't think he's ended the series exactly the way he's wanted to. Especially since like we have Burn the Witch now, which technically takes place in the Bleach universe, just in the West, basically in Europe, as opposed to the Soul Reapers of Japan. So maybe there is a little Bleach universe brewing. And I'm actually kind of happy for that. I thought this chapter was very interesting. I've been rereading Bleach. I've said it a couple times just so I can see if it holds up. I want to do the same with Naruto, but I want to see, because I've only read through Bleach once, and it's through its initial run. I've never read Bleach over. It's probably the only manga I've read all the way through that I haven't read at least a second time. So I wanted to do that, and I remember the Hell Gates was actually a very early thing. Yeah, that was
when the first hollows were dying. Yeah.
Yeah, which was never really expounded upon. And I'd like to think maybe this is the final arc that Kubo really wanted to make as well. Like, because the stakes are good enough. We've never even heard of hell, like the concept of hell in this series. It's kind of just like Hueco Mundo and the Soul Society. And those are the only like spiritual worlds that we visited here. But we don't know what the concept of hell would be. I hope there's a little, if Bleach can continue on this level, it was also refreshing to see his art again.
Yeah. So
good. I wouldn't mind if he would have come out tomorrow with a new Bleach series based on the events of this chapter. I would not mind. I'd be here for it. I'd give it a shot because I don't know. I felt the love in this, a lot of Bleach in its end didn't feel like he was in it, like he was like passionate anymore. But sometimes like distance from a thing can reassure your perspective. I think that's important and make you realize that you love these things. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. And not to mention the banter within characters. I missed Ikaku. It's been I've not seen Ikaku in probably 8 years. In my early read through of Bleach, I haven't gotten to the Soul Society arc yet, so I haven't seen these characters in very, very long time. So it was good to see Ikaku. I remember Ikaku being one of my fucking favorites.
Bro, you want to talk about one of my favorites? You think Chad's gonna get his redemption at any point?
Oh my god, I hope so. What if the editors were always just like, Chad can't win nothing, and he's like, but I want him to, and they're like, no, never, not once.
Not even once. Good. Chad, not even once.
I'll let you guys speak now. I've had my fill on this Bleach chapter.
Am I allowed to speak?
Yes, you're allowed to speak now.
I need to get a seltzer. What's your thoughts, Brian?
Honestly, this is what I wish they did with Naruto.
Excuse me?
No, like I wish they gave Naruto time to breathe before they did all this shit. You know, like if Bleach is gonna get like a sequel series, this is what I wish the blueprint for it was for Boruto. Because Boruto happened too fast after the initial series was over. Like it was like Naruto's over, okay, boom, we're right into Boruto. Now we got all these kids, all these guys, all this new shit. Like I like Boruto, but it will some break between would have been worked wonders for the series because like this is working out better for Bleach, and this is like firsthand knowledge because like I remember how much you guys didn't like how Bleach was going towards the end, and this gave you guys time to kind of let that cool over, let things simmer down a little bit. Hurt. Like you forget a little bit of the shit, and when you reread it, there's a little bit more nostalgia to it, so you're a little more forgiving of it.
Well,
you know?
I wouldn't say I forgot all the shit.
No, it's like you forgot a little bit of it because I'm sure there's a bunch of shit that you guys don't remember that Bleach did stupid.
I think I remember a lot of real garbage from Bleach.
I repressed a lot of it, so that may be slightly true.
But yeah, this gives you an opportunity to kind of remember, like, have some nostalgia for Bleach as opposed to some hatred, you know?
Yeah.
What I think that this, kind of going off of what you were just saying, Brian, I like the way that they're going about, like, this sequel to Bleach, or this continuation of it, where it's still the characters we know in the main cast. Not their children, and these other guys are now Naruto's Ichigo's not a tertiary character now. He's still very important.
Yeah.
As well as all the, you know what I'm saying? It's not all about the kids.
Yeah.
I think that's a key difference, and that's why, I'm kind of looking forward to Bleach. And I didn't put it into a concrete thought like you just did, but yeah, man, I think that below the surface, I was kind of hoping that this would be a chance for it to return to form. And, maybe this is going to be, Kubo working on something he intended. It makes so much sense that he would end Bleach. Not that Bleach is going to end with this. Obviously, I think it's going to keep going past this point now. But it would have made sense for the Quincy thing to not be the final arc. You know what I'm saying? Because we always need to know about what happened with the Quincy's. Why were they such a big deal? Why were they massacred? That always had to happen. But it didn't feel like that should be the ending of the series, this whole Quincy thing. It wasn't that big of a deal with Uryu. You know what I'm saying? Even his dad, who fucking disappeared, by the way. His dad literally just disappeared.
Yeah,
never showed
right.
himself again. But that's All right. Repress.
Yeah. I'm optimistic. I don't know because Kubo has not announced anything. This could very well. He leaves it at a cliffhanger, so maybe like in a few years. And I'm honestly, I kind of hope that for him. I hope.
Wait! Time out. I'm so sorry to cut you off, but he's not actually bringing Bleach back for sure. Like it's not starting in the weekly jump, like in a couple weeks or something?
No. There's no announcement as to when this
Are you
is happening.
fucking kidding me right now?
I'll tell you what, man. I will say, I kind of like that for him. I think Kubo is a guy that kind of needs to have time.
Oh, okay.
No deadline on his stuff?
I don't mind because, like, if anything has taught us about the business of manga is that it can be extremely strenuous and not everyone can operate under that type of pressure. I think,
like Tite Kubo.
I don't know
he's the poster child for it.
Honestly, if it breeds better stories for him and allows him to have the creative freedom that he does, and it's only because Bleach has been so popular that he even has that option. That he's created something that resonated so much that. He could probably do whatever he wants at this point. And I feel like he's doing this because he wants to. Like, nobody's asking for Bleach to come back.
Bleach is a lot more popular in, like, America and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
like, it's more popular in America than Japan.
In Japan.
Yeah.
Way more.
Like I remember there was a time where everybody was talking about Bleach all the time. So I'm sure there are people who want Bleach to come back.
Yeah.
Bro, they all had big swords, and their swords had magic techniques. Nigga, you at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, my nigga, dude, you wasn't. Yo, there was nothing cooler than that, bro. Naruto had the 7 swordsmen of the mist, and that was like top tier KEWL cool. You know what I'm saying? The wolves and the man, did you see that? Like,
I'll tell you what. There was nothing cooler than
Bleach was all that, 100% that, all the time.
There was nothing cooler than the Bankai moment where he goes Bankai.
Right?
Yo, Kubo would end
the full splash pages of coolness and defeat you in one hit.
Kubo would literally leave chapters on a 2-page spread of a black screen and just the words Bankai.
Oh no! But you see, see. You think I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not. There was nothing cooler than that, bro.
No, I agree. Even
at the tender age of 15,
dude, me and you were rocking. Every time there was a new Bankai, we would call each other and be like, "Whoa!"
Bro, there was a meme I seen yesterday, and that shit had me crying, right? Because it was like, oh yeah, like back, you know, you're back in the high school days or whatever, right? And it was like, your parents ain't home, and the dude was like, cool. He was like, oh, there's Mountain Dew and Doritos in the crib, and he's like, yeah, like smiling. And then the next thing is like, oh, and the boys is online, and the guy's like, ooh, yo, that was. I had to send y'all that picture.
Yes, please do. I'll show it in the video version. But I guess we got to move on.
Hoping the people listening have seen it, because otherwise it's gonna sound kind of.
I mean, I'll throw it on the YouTube if you send it to me. So subscribe on YouTube, guys. The only way.
And the boys is online.
All right, but we got to move on. We have a ton of other things to talk about.
Oh yeah. We spent plenty of time on Bleach.
Yeah, very cool. Very.
For a show we're supposed to hate.
I don't hate it. I have complicated feelings. I have a love-hate relationship, I guess, with Bleach. But all right, real quick, I do want to address one more thing. This one shot. This is a rumor, nothing substantiated. Although one fact is kind of confirmed. James Tynion is leaving Batman pretty soon, because he and Jonathan Hickman are starting an independent universe together, kinda. And there's rumors floating around that Hickman is leaving the X-Men for this other universe that he and Tynion are hand in hand in creating. I'm not sure if it's true that Hickman's leaving, but Tynion's definitely leaving Batman. On issue 117 is his last on Batman. So
what issue are we at right now?
I don't remember. I think it was 111.
Yo, I'm gonna stop saying that. That's one hell of a rumor, man.
Yeah, I mean that one's real. I think he did quit Batman. 117 will be his last issue. Hickman, on the other hand, I'm not. It's only assumed because he has a pretty big hand in creating what's next for this, what's known as Substack, which is, I think, just a lot of like comic book writers and artists are leaving major corporations because it's way more profitable for them to like make money on their own stuff, because DC and Marvel don't pay well for comic book people.
Yeah.
So, you know,
for as hard as they work.
Yeah, they all have families too. You know, if they make more money doing independent stuff, by all means, I'll follow Hickman wherever he goes. I
mean, I still feel like I'm I don't know, loser or something for not reading Westworld or whatever the fuck
East
it was.
of West?
West, yes.
I've never read East of... I've read like one volume
East of
West, and man, it is pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. I've only read one volume of it, but it is pretty good. But I did want to bring up that issue because it's like kind of interesting. I hope the Hickman leaving X-Men stuff is not true.
He better fucking finish X-Men. I don't care. You can finish it this year. Whatever,
dude. Whatever you want.
The slow burn. Just finish it first, then go do what you want.
No, I agree. But
Marvel doesn't deserve you. Fair enough.
All right. Well, that being said, let's just jump in. let's get it, the manga stuff started. We are starting with One Piece, chapter 1021, Demonio, which is Spanish for demon. Last we left off, Robin has been fighting Black Maria. She is taking on this battle on her own. She has summoned a giant clone of herself and a bunch of arms to attack Black Maria. She aims for her, but Black Maria starts cutting away at her arms. Robin takes that damage, apparently. I forgot that was like part of drawback of her powers, is that whatever...
I did not know that either.
Yeah, whatever damage her clones suffer, or like her limbs that she creates suffer, she absorbs the damage as well. So Black Maria pulls out brass knuckles and just starts laying into the giant Robin. She goes down. The battle continues onward. And meanwhile, as this is happening, Black Maria is just tearing into Robin verbally. She's just like, "What are you? What good even are you, demon child? You're dead weight of the crew. They only want you for your brain, not your giant arms and legs. They don't care about your personality." I'm like, sheesh.
Yo, the pettiness. She said, "What happened to this won't take long?"
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, that is what she said.
Yeah.
It's just rare when they actually, when the authors make the bad guys address what they said.
Yeah.
He did this a couple times in this fight.
Yeah.
Because she mocked what Sanji said, like, when she said to Sanji that, I can handle it.
You're right.
Now she's mocking her then. I don't know. I like it. Very spicy.
Yeah, very, very spicy. As Robin is getting the bejesus knocked out of her, she gets a flashback to her time with the Revolutionary Army. And we see Koala is just like, "Hey, we should teach you how to actually fight." And Robin's like, "A slap's not good enough. I can't just slap people." And she's like, "No." So yeah, Sabo comes in, is like, "I could teach you my Dragon Claw fist." And the Fishman karate guy from way back in Dressrosa, is like, whatever, man. She's stop trying to force it on her, and Sabo and Koala insist, and Robin's like, "All right, teach me how to do a palm strike." And we see that Robin has actually been using it here and there before. She used it at the very beginning when they were going down to Fishman Island and they were caught in the current and being knocked around. She used her giant arms to like palm strike the rocks away. And Robin uses her gigantium arm to palm strike the ceiling above and cave it in, causing a distraction for her, and also putting out the fire that Black Maria set on her webs because they are flammable. And in the meantime, she just transforms into this giant demon monster thing. Pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah. Is this her, or this is the clone thing?
Oh no, I don't know if it's actually her or a clone.
I think it's the clone thing.
Could be a clone.
No, because she's talking. I don't know. Yeah. Is this hockey? Is she using hardened hockey? Is that what's to be implied?
I think it's
here?
just shadows. It's just shadows to kind of like mood. Mood.
Does it not look like it?
Yeah, it does look like armament hockey, honestly. But yeah, she just picks up Black Maria. She just like grabs her with her many arms, and does the grand jacuzzi clutch where she breaks Black Maria's leg, fucking back and neck over her fucking giant arms and legs. Pretty cool. Even like the onlookers are like, "Whoa, what was that sound?" The way she cracked her back. Meanwhile, as the onlookers are going, Brook does his whole speed cut thing. He does the Fres de Arms Orchestra and knocks out a bunch of them. At the end of it all, Robin is exhausted and just lays down from the fight. And we see an onlooker of that girl with the paper on her face, looking on as another Toby Ropo falls at the hands of the Straw Hats. Pretty cool. Meanwhile, back at the Tokage port, Luffy has gotten more food thanks to wet-haired Karibo, who seems to, in his depths, have a month's supply of food, which is pretty handy, I would say. So, as Luffy's eating, in the distance, we see that Momonosuke is being addressed by Shinobu after Luffy asks him to turn to a dragon and fly up. And Shinobu's like, I'm not letting you go back up there. It's too dangerous. And Momonosuke insists to go back onto the island, and he begs Shinobu to use her ripe jutsu to turn Momonosuke into an adult.
I don't love the idea, but I guess it makes sense, because how the hell else is he going to bring Luffy up there if he's this little meek-ass dragon?
Little baby dragon. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Maybe he doesn't turn into a giant dragon.
Is that how bright fruit works?
I guess the concept is that she can progress the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she could progress like certain elements in time. I guess she could like turn things older, but that's like Bonnie's fruit almost. I don't know.
Bonnie could go back and forth. I think she can only make them older, which is the risk, and which is why it's such a big risk.
I think Bonnie can go both ways because she's turned a couple Navy people into babies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, and yeah, so she can.
Oh, maybe Shinobu could only
transform herself and others like older.
Yeah. Oh, I guess maybe Shinobu can only go older. I mean, it's not necessarily older. It's just
she can only progress time forward. She can't go backwards.
Yeah.
Which is what Bonnie.
Yeah, some of these like ninja, samurai powers are not like super explained. But I suppose we'll get an explanation later. But that's where the chapter ends. A pretty cool moment.
I have thoughts.
Yeah, a pretty good moment for Robin. Honestly, her form is cool. Like her demonia form is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And I guess I should drop right now that this was the audience decided really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC.
Yes.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
It finally happened.
Yeah, it's been. How long has it been since One Piece was like
RGC?
I don't know.
RGC.
Oh, is this all your RGCs as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not mine yet.
Oh well.
I need to hear more. I need to explain.
Certified RGC. Certified
This is for Josh.
RGC. Certified RGC.
I mean, Robin watched her one-on-one matchup. What more can I say? Oh, I'll tell you what. Caribou gave Luffy food.
That he did.
You know, there ain't no jokes here. You know that's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing it out of self-interest. He's like, if Luffy loses, he'll never leave the island.
His role on the team, bro, to be the self-interest guy. So Usopp won't be alone in it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I thought this chapter was pretty great too.
And he uses his swamp abilities to do stuff for them, like smuggle shit. Yeah, pirates do that.
They do that. I'm very happy with this chapter. Man, I don't know. It is kind of between this and another chapter for me. It's kind of hard. It's a really tough choice. I did love this moment for Robin. Robin doesn't get a lot of moments like this where she defeats somebody. I don't even like the last time Robin had a one-on-one fight with Skypiea, actually. So
wow,
it's been a long time. For
that's
Robin.
when she was just smacking people.
Yeah, she's straight up smacking people. But yeah, overall, I guess I don't know. I guess this isn't my RGC. It just isn't quite there yet. But I did enjoy it nonetheless. And I'm glad that people enjoyed it. I'm glad that it won the RGC. I don't think One Piece has ever won. Not even with Chapter 1000. When was the last time we had One Piece win?
Oh, One Piece has won before.
I think it was like 1001 or something.
Maybe
that it got RGC.
Yeah.
But my thoughts on this chapter, I actually like that they might age up Momo because he's supposed to be 20 something, 28, like in his late 20s at this point in the series. And even though he's young, he has displayed like mature qualities before. And this would be, if he does get aged up, that would argue the case that he's more likely to join the Straw Hats than before. Because if he is aged up, then he's just not some kid on the crew. He's actually somebody who can be a capable fighter, and he would be somebody who would be following Odin's footsteps.
And he would play the role of dragon person on the team. You know what I'm saying? No one's filling that role right now.
He would probably replace what's his name in this? Kinemon. He would replace Kinemon's role on those Straw Hats before as somebody who's just a swordsman, like an extra swordsman who can assist with like strategy and shit.
And do dragon stuff.
And do dragon shit on top of that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I really do think that Yamato is a big distraction. I really do think Momonosuke is going to be the one joining the Straw Hats at the end of this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just because he's still, like... So, they're setting it up so that it's... Momo is going to get aged up, but he's not mentally ready to be a leader. And, he's still a young mind in an older body. So, he's going to have to go out to sea to kind of age himself up a bit. Mentally.
Well...
And,
I don't know. I think we don't know how Shinobu's ripe powers really work on people. So for all we know, it could be temporary. And yeah, it's not even to say that like these are necessarily fruit abilities either, because they specifically don't say fruit. And we don't know. We've never seen Kinemon eat his. So I don't know.
But he can't swim. I think that the jutsu is just another word for the fruit power.
That's fair.
And he says you're ripe. Like he repeats. I feel like because he repeats the word, that means like it's a fruit power.
Yeah, Wano has different names for things that exist on the outer world. Like their hockey
has a different name.
I'll say this though.
Yeah.
Momonosuke's mom specifically did not eat a fruit, from what we can gather, for her powers, because she's from way back in the day, probably before these powers were transferred into fruits and were known as what they were. That's the assumption.
No,
because she says that, like, you know, she has time powers specifically. I don't know. I have a feeling that there's maybe more to Wano and their relationship to devil fruits than we think. Maybe Kinemon and Shinobu and Raizo, maybe they all have like fruit power. They just like had fruit powers, but I don't know. I think like the ability, like using ripe jutsu, is deliberate for whatever reason. But I don't know. That's also conjecture. As for Momonosuke joining the crew, that's one I doubt, because I think he will just end up running Wano. Someone has to. Like the whole point of this is for someone to not Kaido run Wano. I don't know who else it would be. It wouldn't be. I think Yamato's joining the crew for sure.
Right, and mostly because he considers himself Odin.
Yeah,
which means he would have to go with, Jolly Roger.
Yeah, Momonosuke is.
But that's why. This is why I think this is why it proves even more so that Momonosuke is going to join, is because Momonosuke and Yamato are two halves of Odin. They're two different pieces of Odin, right? So, but it's not about which one it's not about which one is getting what they want. It's about which one is serving the purpose that Odin needed to serve, in my opinion.
Well,
because
what Odin wanted to serve was to open the borders of Wano, and that's what Momonosuke would probably be doing.
No, that's what Yamato wants most.
No, Yamato wants to leave.
No, he even said it during his fight with this guy, with Kaido. He wants to open the borders. But look, this is where I'm getting at. So where I'm getting at is Odin, at a younger age, he was somebody who didn't want responsibility for leadership, right? But as he grew up, he learned that he needed to become a leader, and that's why he came back, right? And that's the two halves of Odin that I'm talking about. Yamato is serving the younger version of Odin, who wants to leave, but that's not what Odin needed to do when he was at that age. So that's why I think Yamato is going to do what Odin should have done at the beginning and take leadership of Wano. And that's why I think Momonosuke is going to do what older Odin should have done, which was leave. And learn to experience and grow, because he's not ready to be a leader. Momonosuke is not going to be a leader at the end of this. He's going to learn the qualities of becoming a leader through Luffy or through anybody else in the future, and learn more about the world. But he's not ready to stay in Wano. That's really clear, I think.
I think if he actually does get aged up, that's going to pretty much solidify the fact that he's going to rule over Wano. Yeah. In my opinion, I think the samurai and all of that are already rallying behind him, and they all got hope once they learned that he was still alive. You know, that was kind of one of the huge catalysts, like with him and the samurai being back. So it's not like the people don't already have such a respect for the kid, and for him to be an adult. And I'm going to tell you this. I think Yamato emulates Odin and his path more than his son, because he was different. You know, he was Odin was always like this super confident beast of a person, you know, and his son's not. You know, he's meek. And you could say maybe because he wasn't brought up, you know, with his dad or whatever, because of what he went through, but he's learning things through a completely different lens than his dad did. His dad grew up as royalty who went out and did whatever as he pleased, and his son grew up as a prisoner. Those are two completely different points of view, and, you know, obviously you would want the people who have struggled to be the leaders, I would assume. I guess that's just my opinion. But I'm just giving my thoughts to why I feel like it would be totally fine and realistic for Momonosuke to end up being the leader, especially if he gets aged up. And again, with Yamato, it's just he has said that he wants to get out. You know, he's the one that's been living as royalty under his pots and has yearned to leave and escape Wano. Not be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not so much all right, Yamato was more of an actual prisoner because of his pops, but it's still the same parallel. He just wants to get out there and go, and he's willing to fight whoever and scrap and rebel anyway on his way. Which is why it makes sense, much to my chagrin, that Yamato would be the one that ended up joining the crew and not my guy Wet Hair.
Yeah. Also,
it hurts, bro. It hurts.
Yamato has stated he wants to go with Luffy, and Momonosuke has stated he wanted to stay.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't know.
Maybe could have come up at any time, bro.
I mean, you never know. We've been surprised by One Piece before. All that stuff. I don't think that there's anything invalid about what Brian's saying. What you're saying, Brian, makes a lot of sense. I just think that's not where it's going. But we'll have to see, honestly. We never know. I don't know. But
I got all my thoughts out.
Yeah, same. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it. America, fuck yeah. My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 322, Great Explosion, Murder God, Dynamite. Last we left off, Ida caught up to Midoriya, and they finally, I guess, convinced him to take a chill pill for a hot second. They basically are going for a crash landing after Uraraka releases her quirk, allowing Ida and Midoriya to fall. Kirishima makes a fucking clutch ass catch down the yard, and as he catches him, Kirishima says that, hey, a while back, one story threw me for a loop. A kid my age dashed to save his friend, despite having no powers. What you did back then is sort of the same action we're taking for you now. So, you know, And Ida's like, damn, good point, Kirishima. No. Oh, no, wait, I think positioning. I thought you said point. Sorry, I can't read. No, Ida actually...
It was a good point, though.
It was a good point, but Ida compliments him on his clutch catch. So, yeah, everybody finally... everybody catches up to them. Midoriya is... Ashido is just like, hey, why won't you hang with us? You got classes to attend. And Midoriya's like, I'd like that, but I'm too scared for all the people in UA. I don't want to make trouble for anyone else. And from here on out, it's basically a monologue by Bakugo, where he gets the final word in this whole situation. I like how he starts it off by saying, hey, remember what I said when Shigaraki made Swiss cheese out of me?
We all thought you was dead.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was basically like, it was to stop trying to do this on your own. And we got this really cool art cues as we're going through this, as Bakugo kind of like talks them through their entire relationship. Starts with them as kids, talking about how Bakugo is like hated him because, he always felt that Deku was looking down on him despite being quirkless. So his response to that was being mean and trying to reject him, like in middle school where he tried to act all superior, but he kept losing that fight because he got into UA, but so did Deku. And then when they got to UA, nothing's really worked out. Bakugo has had his own little struggles, and throughout his time in UA, it's forced him to really like see his strength, his like Midoriya's strength and his weakness. It's really magnified their dynamic in a very big way. And in this moment, he basically takes the time to bow down to Midoriya and apologize to him for everything that they've gone through up to this point. He tells him that he doesn't think there's anything wrong with what Midoriya's been doing, but at this point he is now he's so weak he's barely standing, and you keep trying to do this on your own, but at this point now it's our job to save you, because without you we can't save people, and saving people is how we win. Going back to what All Might told them a long time ago, is save by winning, win by saving, and that's when Midoriya just collapses onto the ground, into Bakugo's arms due to the weakness, like all the shit that he's been going through. And we cut basically to, I guess, a few hours later as Midoriya is waking up to 13 without his mask, without her mask. It's pretty jarring. We've never seen her like human form before. I didn't even know she had one.
That's 13. Oh shit, the traitor. What? Pay attention.
I mean, she's basically saying that, like, hey, most people have evacuated to here. Every day, more people grow weary of anti-hero ideology, so they just come here anyway. They move to shelters. And it's also revealed that the students of UA can also combine with Shiketsu. So I guess Shiketsu High School with the Wind Guy is working in conjunction with UA. So we'll probably see them again pretty soon. When they arrive at the gates of the UA shelter, all the civilians come out and they're like, man, fuck out of here. Don't let that boy take a step into UA.
Yeah.
Because
how did they know that he was coming?
Because they say Shigaraki was targeting some kid, and they're pretty sure he's the one. And everybody's just trying to get them to relax because the crowd is now freaking out. And Deku just turns around and is like, message received. Basically, I gotta get out of here. But Uraraka grabs his hand and is like, hey, it's okay. And we get a narration, presumably from her, talking about how Ida started by linking this chain. Bakugo played his part too. And now we're not letting you go. Because when heroes need protecting, who will protect them? And that's where the chapter ends, in a big panel of Uraraka turning around to the people, to the angry people. Man, this is an interesting chapter to me. It feels I don't dislike it at all. It just feels out of place, maybe.
Do you know why it feels out of place, bro?
Why?
Because Bakugo was a completely new and changed character. And when it happened, I can't tell you when. Did it happen when he found out about Midoriya being All for One's disciple? One for All's disciple? Did it happen after he almost died and got Swiss cheese? Did it happen in Hirokoshi's mind when he decided, you know what? Fuck the actual arc and stuff that would have went with them developing a relationship. I'm just gonna make it so that that's the case. I wonder.
Okay, come on now. Don't disrespect the Bakugo's character development like that.
I will say,
yeah, bro. I think it's very hollow, and I mean, yeah, listen. You guys could disagree with me. Everybody in the comments could disagree with me. Anyone listening could disagree with me. That's totally fine. And like I said last week, it must be fucking nice. I wish I felt the same as y'all, but I don't. And I'm not fucking crazy, and I'm not some asshole that's just trying to violate. At least not right now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about Midoriya being dirty. No, I'm upset. I'm frustrated, similarly to how I was kind of freaking out when we seen a major shift in My Hero Academia, which is like, why? Why did this happen already? Shouldn't more things have happened? Like, he hated this nigga for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was weird in the first place is when Bakugo found out about him being having All for One. It's not that I had a problem with it before, but I didn't love it before. It was kind of like, okay, I guess that's different. This series has shocked me in very positive ways, and you know what? It just didn't. I don't like the trajectory of Bakugo's development and relationship with Midoriya as a friend and companion. I wanted to see more, and I feel like we're having the same fucking conversation, and it's just annoying because you know what? At the end of the day, the author's gonna have time to still flesh out these characters interacting with each other. It's not the end. This is not the end of the story where it's like, okay, now they're best friends. They're going to take on the bad guy and everything's going to be great. There's probably still potential for them to still butt heads and argue and shit. Maybe Midoriya is going to be insufferable because of his new attitude towards, saving the world and stuff. I don't know, man. But, yeah, man, I don't have the feels. And that's why I didn't feel it with any of these characters last week or this week. It's just, I feel like I'm being, fed what I want. It's like he's like, okay, here you go. Here's this plain vanilla pudding that you've been asking for. Not vanilla, plain pudding. It's like it's plain pudding, and on the carton that holds the pudding, it says character development interaction. Here's a whole bunch of it, even though it's just flavorless and. All right, my rant's over, man. Because I can't, it's all subjective, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't disagree with you, but I will say that I do think that the Bakugo and Midoriya relationship has been worked on for a long time. It just feels like it hasn't been that way because they haven't really talked about it in a while. But I think they were working past it, and I think their time with Endeavor really kind of made it a little easier for them to connect. And Bakugo, ever since he learned about One for All, he's been kind of very close to Midoriya and kind of keeping an eye on him. So I guess I disagree on that front as to it feels sudden, or it just feels kind of pushed on us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a thing that's budding. It's just there's just so much character stuff that's happening, and it doesn't happen in all at once together. It doesn't. I will say that probably that's why it doesn't resonate as much, is because it happens in these hyper focused periods of time within My Hero Academia where there's it feels like a scheduled time for Midoriya Bakugo arc. We stopped doing that for a while, and then it's back, and then we stop doing that for a while, and then it's back again. Which I don't think there's anything specifically wrong with it. I've been fine with it because I get it. I don't need it like constantly pushed in my face that they're working on their friendship, or even like that.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. I think that's the root of the problem, is that these things kind of come and go in big spurts. So, and to be fair, this is plot shit happening. They can't. It's a weird balance. I don't know. I guess what this series doesn't have that say something like One Piece has is that those is a very strong through line between characters and their dynamics and all that stuff that is constantly pervading throughout the entire series. And that's partially because the supporting cast isn't involved a ton up to this point. I don't know. I felt like this is kind of like a weird time to do this moment. I feel like because this kind of their relationship had nothing to do with kind of like why Midoriya's going after All for One so hard. So it feels kind of like there's a disconnect there. And I will say on the surface, I do love the visual motif of them going through the different stages of their life as Bakugo's explaining these stages. I think it's just kind of out of place at the moment. And I feel like maybe this could have been done earlier, or when maybe he found out about One for All, or All for One and stuff. I don't know.
A nice little mini arc, maybe them.
I don't know.
Fighting a villain and going through shit, arguing. I don't know, man.
I don't feel as strongly negatively towards this chapter as you do, but I do get your points. Nah, man. I don't. It's a matter of preference, and it's still a solid comic regardless. It's just, I guess these are the expectations I put, where I feel like it makes the difference between it being just a good manga that I read, like a few others, or wow, this is one of the greatest, and I'm going to remember this for a long time and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's little details like that I feel like really differentiate series from each other. There's a reason we go so hard for World Trigger. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason we enjoyed Death Note so much up to a certain point. Right? I like Death Note all the way through.
Yeah, but I mean, even you can see series with like Naruto, how again up to a certain point, and I just thought that My Hero Academia was just gonna for some reason fix be the perfect comic to fix all these other guys' mistakes. That's not how it works.
I think we all put that on My Hero Academia, and we need to stop.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So now let me be the devil's advocate as per usual for My Hero Academia, because I really like this chapter. It's not my RGC.
Chris said
he
loved it too.
I didn't say I loved it. I said I liked it.
So look,
I liked
honestly,
it. I just didn't like the Bakugo moment. I thought it was
this Bakugo moment was the perfect timing for it, in my opinion. Just because this is a moment that really needed it. Deku really needed this moment out of Bakugo. Bakugo specifically, because everybody had their piece, right? But Bakugo is kind of his partner in crime. Bakugo has grown to be this person. This isn't anything new. All this relationship really needed was that one push over the edge to make it a true friendship. Just because it's not a constant development and all that shit, it's not a constant in your face development for their relationship, doesn't mean that it wasn't there. There's a lot more subtlety to this than most shonen manga do. This isn't Naruto and Sasuke just running around saying, oh, I'm gonna get you, Naruto, I'm gonna get you, Sasuke, you're coming back. It's a little more subtle, and I don't mind that. It's nice to not have it constantly thrown in our face that these two have to be friends. That's shit that develops over time, and there's been so much shit going on between them. There's been no time for them to actually have a moment to be like this, and Bakugo is not a person who's going to just do it unprompted. You know what I mean? So in a situation when he needs to get his friend back, he's going to do whatever he can. And if that means he has to bear how he feels to make sure that Deku comes back, he's going to do it because he's matured. And this moment showed it the most, is because he went from somebody who failed an exam for not saving people to prioritizing saving people first as a hero. So this is just a lot of development that has been subtly put in throughout the series so far. Like, My Hero doesn't have a lot of time to do all that stuff, and honestly, I'm okay with that. It just allows you to kind of, experience characters' growth without it being thrown in your face. And I think I like that a lot more than it being a full arc dedicated to it, because it just adds more to like your connection with them a little bit. Because it's like, oh wow, you've grown a lot since like we last saw you. Just because we don't need to see it, just because we didn't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
And it makes sense.
I agree.
I agree with that. And here's the thing. My Hero Academia, this is chapter 322. It's a lot. It's a lot of chapters. You kind of forget that this series has been going on for a very, very, very long time, honestly. It's 300.
Yeah, but I mean, this could also only be half of the way through the series, And I'm sorry. I want to finish your thought, Chris.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean.
Well, so then could I?
Here it is. I think there's a lot of. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's a lot of stuff that reeks of finality here, and it's.
Oh yes.
I think that's premature. I get it. I totally do, because this does feel like, it's all coming to an end. But this could just be
Chris,
new beginnings.
Yeah.
It's hard to accept that. It's really difficult to really tell, because a lot of things feel like they're closing up, and they're probably not.
That's odd. I didn't feel like that at all.
So if I could articulate exactly how I feel, and thanks for bringing that up to the forefront, straight up like this. I feel like this was I feel like I looked at it as this was the finish line for Bakugo's character.
No way.
Right? And it's because he was always skilled. He was always talented. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was wild, but he was learning to refine his ability a little bit. As far as combat goes, whatever. He's always going to be a combat king. There's not much more to develop there, right? Aside from just actual techniques. But, his development with Bakugo, and then how he kind of looks at people in the world, I thought that was his finish line of understanding and having empathy for others. And now that I feel like it's here, this is it, and what's next for Bakugo as a character? And because I can't really, me personally, I can't see what else is next for him. It makes me feel like that's it. It's. This is what it is. But on the other side of it, like Chris mentioned, and I feel like, as you're saying too, Brian, this is an opportunity for a new beginning, and Hirokoshi could take this a completely different way. Like I said way earlier when I ended my rant, I did say at the end of the day, a few things could change in the next couple weeks of chapters where they start fleshing out their development much more. We don't know. This doesn't mean that they're super bestest friends now, just because he said sorry.
Yeah,
that just means he matured a whole lot.
That's basically
way more than I anticipated that he would at a point that's not in the final arc of the series or something, or right before it. But hey, at least I feel like I got my feelings fleshed out.
I think that depends on where you see the finish line for Bakugo, because I think this is a big step towards it, but I don't think it's the end for him. These habits are hard to shake in general. People don't change overnight, even if you have a big realization for this. I personally don't think My Hero Academia is, or the story, whatever you call, what comes next for My Hero Academia, whether it's the end of this series and the start of another or whatever. I don't think it's the end necessarily, because I don't know. I feel like Horikoshi, he has plans for there's certain character arcs that need to be closed. Like Yaoyuruzu has had a long-standing character defect that she's trying to get over in terms of being decisive and being a true leader, just like as she's supposed to be, measuring up to those expectations that she set. Todoroki still has his stuff with his family. Bakugo could still have a long way to go in terms of learning empathy, and Midoriya himself can learn a lot from what Bakugo's mindset was. I think that's the whole point between their dynamic, is for Bakugo to be more like Midoriya and Midoriya to be a little bit more like Bakugo, for them to learn from each other. And this is like Bakugo's step. Next will probably be Deku trying to learn from Bakugo. Who knows? There's a lot going on, and there's probably a reason why the second user is Bakugo's great granddad.
Right? I mean, hey, come on, man.
I don't know. There's a lot.
I think we're all in agreement with that, right? All three of us. We're all definitely Bakugo's.
No, if there's anything that
if not himself,
I'll let Brian speak, and this is where I'll leave it at. I think My Hero Academia is a very big picture series, and it's way better absorbed in a binge format than maybe week to week. Maybe that's the thing. I maybe I'm wrong there, or maybe I'm being too extreme, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is the end. I do see where Josh is coming from, because it's a facade that feels like this is leading up to the end, but it could just like kind of feel that way because of what we know about manga and what we understand. But new gen manga is different, bro.
It is. It is, and I'm
what I've been trying to get you guys to understand.
Bro, you don't gotta get me. Listen, I still read it, all right? Cause I've deaded series I don't give a fuck about. R.I.P. Dr. Stone. It's still awesome. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Look, I do still read it, and I'm critical of it because of how much I enjoy it.
Yeah, Brian.
But
say
I swear, I really didn't. I really thought the chapter was cool. Aside from that, despite that.
Yeah.
I love that they're back at school. I can't wait to see how much things has changed. Why do you think 13's suit was so fucked up? Doing dirty, grungy things.
Oh.
I'm telling you guys. I'm telling y'all.
He's doing hero shit.
Right,
no! Traitor.
You got so close.
Or the mouse.
Okay, Brian, say your piece so we can, I guess, move on.
So, it didn't feel any sense of finality in this chapter. I'm surprised that you guys felt that. I did not. I really didn't. Just because, My Hero is still setting shit up. This is a lot of setup stuff. This isn't a lot of ending stuff for me. This is a lot of they're setting up Uraraka to fully become a support hero, to truly define what it means to be a support hero. They're setting up Bakugo to become better than he was before. This isn't the end of Bakugo's progression. This is the start of a new section of his thing. They're using Deku as a tool to make him better, to make Bakugo better right now. That's not that's not the end of an arc for him. The highlight for me for this chapter though was Uraraka. Just because
really?
Yeah, you don't we don't see a lot out of her, and we
sure don't.
She's one of those characters that was with us a lot in the beginning. And she's always had a healthy disconnection from heroism, is what I would say. And that healthy disconnection could be really helpful in these times. Just because she can be that kind of third wheel between the public and heroes, just because she doesn't have that big of a stake in it. She's only doing this for money, right? She's doing this as a job. So her having that, she doesn't have that big passion or drive to be the best or whatever is going to be good. And this chapter kind of shows that she's taking that step, because she's going to kind of be a shield for the heroes now, is what I think. Because when everything's going tough, she can be the one that's not emotionally affected by all this mania going on with the crowd. And I think that's a good spot for her, because that would make her unbounded, kind of similar to her quirk.
So a PR
really excited
bag.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, she's gonna be somebody who can protect the heroes in social dilemmas and all that stuff. I think I really like that for her. I think that's
kind of
cool.
just sandbag the blows, you know.
Yeah, but anyway, that was My Hero Academia. Interesting as always bringing up a conversation and all, if anything. So, you know, that was a good chapter. You guys ready to move on finally?
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
You said, "Is this ice, dickhead? Is it cold?"
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 154, Sneaking In. Last we left off, Itadori and Megumi are infiltrating Hakari's fight club to probably try to get him to enlist in helping them out with the culling game. Itadori has entered his fight club and has beat up Panda in grand style, grand enough to impress Hakari and meet him. Meanwhile, on the outside, this chapter begins as Megumi meets up with Panda on the outside. And they're basically talking about how they can sneak inside while Itadori is going the direct route.
Covering any plot holes or loopholes and how they could get caught.
As per usual. But Panda, Megumi asks is like, hey, have you tried to get through? Have you just tried to walk up to them? And then Panda's like, I tried to sneak in once, but every time, like the more I run towards the door, the distance never decreases. And he notes that it's similar to Gojo's cursed technique.
And like Super Mario 64.
Oh yeah, like that. I remember that.
You're trying to run up the stairs and you're not going nowhere.
The infinite staircase.
Bro, I remember as a kid, I was just like, wow! I don't understand. Am I not jumping far enough?
Yeah. Oh
my god.
So he supposed that it's Kirara's technique, which Kirara's a boy. Didn't know. Cool. In any case, so you know they basically like Itadori is nice and charming. He should work on Hakari. He should get along well, but he's not good at lying, so it's not great. Worst case scenario, Hakari realizes that he's from Jujutsu High and tosses him out, or calls in some bruiser to take him out for him. So they don't have any faith in Itadori at all to really kind of get anything useful out of Hakari. So they're basically just kind of thinking about how to get through. Panda's like, hey, I mean, we could just get in there, you know, just move through the blind spots of the camera. The only serious sorcerers there are Kirara and Hakari, so, you know, even if we get caught, we could probably beat some people up. And Megumi's like, all right, I guess. So, you know...
Panda's with the shits, man.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been fucking people up for weeks, man, since my dad got killed. Let's do it.
I got a lot of pent-up anger.
You wanna go get Hakari? Let's get him.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
As the leader of the Masamichi squad, I can't be seen as weak. So, you know, they're like, I'm concerned about Kirara's technique, but there's nothing we could do with that. If they warp Itadori outside or bring in some muscle, we'll give up on Hakari. So, I guess Kirara guides Itadori over to Hakari. Meanwhile, Megumi just uses his cool shadow shit to choke out a random goon, ties him up, and he takes down another dude. Panda does a very funny panda thing where I guess he looks adorable with a tire, and everybody's like, huh? Is that a panda? Wait, that panda was in the tournament. And then Panda beats them up as well. Just
this is like, do pandas eat fish sausage? Nigga beat their ass and took it for himself anyway.
He said, thanks for the sausage.
Like, I sure do.
So they made it up together, and down on the ground they spot Kirara, and Kirara recognizes Panda because they obviously know each other, and he's like, wait a minute, we trusted you, Panda. As Megumi basically just uses his shadow thing to attack Kirara, knock her phone out before she alerts Hakari. And Hakari uses his cursed technique to, I guess, warp this dog away and knock it straight back into Megumi. pretty cool. I
Yeah,
guess.
it doesn't really explain exactly how it happens. I guess that's the point. We're supposed to find out later on.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the rules of the power system is that when you explain your technique, it gets stronger. So I'm sure we'll get an explanation at some point.
Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't know that?
That's a thing?
Yeah, Nanami
Is that
states.
something he put so that there's a reason why they explain it?
Yeah, Nanami explains it early on. Is just like when he explains his power, Itadori's like, "Why are you explaining your power?" And Itadori's like, "It's fine. In some cases, explaining your curse technique makes it stronger." And I'm like, "All right."
Oh, because it makes people more aware of it.
Yeah.
So it's easy to feint them out and shit. I understand. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. So they're battling against Kirara, and the chapter kind of ends as they're like kind of at a standoff. They don't really know what to do because she keeps warping shit away. Panda has a star tattoo on his butt that says Imai, and I wonder if that's Kirara's thing. Like she did something.
Yeah, the marks,
like,
right?
Yeah, like he did something.
But she said the panda's marked, not him though.
What? Oh yeah.
No, she does something and she says the panda's marked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wonder what that means. Meanwhile, the chapter ends inside of Hakari's office thing, and he says, "Would you believe me if I said you could work 1 hour a day and make 1 million yen a month?" And I wonder how much, Brian. How much is 1 million yen in American monies?
Bro, that's a lot.
It's gonna be a lot, I imagine. But that's where the chapter ends.
Are you sure you want to know?
Tell me.
Can't be less than 100,000.
You think I'm going to be disappointed?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, all right, Chris, you make your guess too.
Is it 10,000? Guess on your tone. It doesn't seem impressive.
What?
9,056 bucks.
Wow.
Well, for 1 hour of work, I'll still take it.
That's
how much?
$9,000 a month.
9,000
I'll
a
take
month
that.
for
All
1
All I
hour.
do is beat somebody's face in every night.
Well, he doesn't specifically say it's a fight thing. He does say if you work for Hakari for 1 hour a day.
Oh, word. It could be anything, man. Maybe he always wants you to clean up.
Yeah, sweep
Right? Maybe do some secretarial work.
the facility. I don't know. That was where the chapter ended. This was a fun chapter. I enjoyed it more in the second week. It feels like more build-up stuff than anything. It's fine. Nothing really to report in terms of what this chapter. It was cool to see Kirara's powers kind of in action, and there's a lot of intrigue behind how his powers work. But I'm interested. I don't really want to spend a whole ton of time of it. It's fine. But if you guys have any thoughts,
RGC.
what?
Certified RGC.
Are they sure?
Certified
Where did you
That's a
see
boy?
it?
Certified RGC.
It's called Bishonen.
It's not that boys can't look like that. It's that it looks like they have breasts.
He's
the
wearing
shirt.
he's just wearing a crop top.
Yeah, it's the
That's-
shirt that's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
poofy.
kind of puffed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's non-conforming clothing, which I'm cool with. I really liked this chapter. It was really fun.
No, you
This
will
is a fun
conform and wear clothes. Oh man,
This chapter was really fun. I like how they set up the dilemmas and all that stuff. They're like, oh yeah, Kirara's always with this dude. Like all we have to do is just be outside and we'll be fine. And then she shows up and she's not even near him. It's just nice. It's like a cute little.
What are you doing?
situation.
Yeah, Panda and Megumi barely had a plan going in because they realized that there's nowhere really to plan. We'll just go in and wing it. We'll see what happens. Itadori's probably gonna fuck up if we don't do something. So, yeah, I like the casualness of just like Panda and Megumi just trying to be sneaky and it failing utterly. That's kind of entertaining. But I don't really have any more thoughts about it. Josh, do you?
nah.
Then let's go to our American comics.
Let's go.
The X books. We have two. Thank goodness. Two pretty solid ones, I guess. We're starting with the Children of the Atom number 6. the final issue of Children of the Atom, and a surprise issue of the Hellfire Gala, as we get an explanation as to how Carmen got there and, you know, what she's doing over there. First of all, the issue starts out with the knowledge that Carmen is the only one among the Children of the Atom that is an actual mutant. So she gets invited to the gala, and Thirsty McGlasses is upset.
Transforms.
Yeah, into a real monster of a person.
A legit villain.
I did not enjoy this part. It really made me uncomfy. So the whole time she just like freaks out because Carmen gets to be a mutant and they don't. And she's like, you don't even understand what we're about anymore. You know what? Maybe you should go to your cool fucking Superior Man Island, where you could be superior to us and all that stuff. And man, it's a rough scene. It really makes the blonde Thirsty McGlasses lady super unlikable. It's just like, damn, what a mean person. The rest of the issue is kind of just Carmen's adventures in Krakoa. She gets to meet certain mutants. Her powers are not physically revealed, but you know, Storm says that her powers are registered by Cerebro as physiomorphological type. So, you know, she can transform into things. We never see it in action, which is kind of regrettable for this issue, given that it's the last one. I figured that we'd probably see it going, but we don't. So, yeah, she has a great time at the gala, but she misses her friends. And she goes back home after the gala and tries to come out to her parents as a mutant, but they misunderstand her, thinking that she's coming out as lesbian, but she's like, no, I'm a mutant. And they're like, okay, still fine. Still all right. And yeah, the next day, we see the Children of the Atom going up against Horticulture, who just keep randomly popping up in things. And, you know, they're just... I'm trying to figure out what their overall purpose of this in X-Men is, because they're such a unique force, but they seem to just pop up in random spots across the Krakoan storyline, that they get their asses whooped by the Children of the Atom. And the more they get their asses whooped, the less I respect them as a villain group. It's kind of weird.
They showed up in that X-Men issue.
Yeah.
And totally smoked Cyclops, Sebastian, and Emma Frost.
This is true.
Completely bodied them, right?
Right.
Then they showed up on that island with the zombies. You know, it's Plants vs. Zombies. That was pretty cool.
That was
interesting.
Cool. But then,
yeah, right? They just pulled up, and they was holding it down for old women, right? And here they are now. But this was, in my opinion, the most out of place spot. Like, I was surprised when they showed up. I was like, I thought they were kind of a bigger deal / plot point to just be, you know, but whatever. They do make a point that they're going to get released from prison right after, you know, because they have money.
Yeah.
So they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. They have the plant.
Yeah.
They were aiming for this plant, but they missed completely because they were defeated by regular children with alien technology. I don't know. That's what I'm saying, is just like, I don't like that they just got their ass whooped here. They felt more important than that.
Yeah.
But in any case, the issue kind of ends in a very quick wrap-up kind of thing where the love triangle thing gets resolved very fast. By the way, real quick, too long didn't read style, literally, because basically in the time that Carmen's gone, Buddy has worked out her crush thing with Gabe. I think that's his name, right? Gabriel.
Yeah.
And you know, they decided that she's not that into Gabriel, but she is into Carmen. And Carmen's like, wait, I thought that you liked him. And she's like, I did, but No.
And me and him are supposed to be in a whole relationship. So,
we're
buddy,
in a whole...
what are you talking about?
And then she turns to the guy.
You just relinquished your girl? Is that what happened? Without her permission? Oh yeah, BT does. We broke up. Honestly, I know I'm not fucking.
No. You're absolutely correct because even Carmen,
Look, they're holding hands, and he's just like, "Yeah, it's with us."
I mean, what do you? All right.
He said he lost his girl and a potential chick. She's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not even feeling you like that."
It's really weird.
Super alpha Gabe, but he took it on the chin.
If there's any
and he's
real,
way more mature than I'll probably ever be.
Dude, it was wild because even Carmen was like, "Wait a minute, we're like in a relationship," and he's like, "No, I broke." He said, "No, I've relinquished you."
I've relinquished.
I have relinquished.
Your services are no longer required. You are not bound by chains.
And I've always known that you didn't like me at all, I guess, and have only liked her. So I step back. I'll take a step, and I guess I'll work out my issues that I had apparently. And maybe I'm not ready for relationships right now. I don't know.
Man, my nigga Gabe bet I've been at least hitting that. That's all I'm saying.
Dude.
Come on. You don't know someone... Wait, no, I'm not saying that to be a bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew the whole time that they would said, got in a relationship with her anyway, with knowing that she's in love with somebody else low-key, but not just somebody else, someone that they literally hang out with every day. He was definitely like, yeah, I'm just going to get what I can out of this situation, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean...
There's no other way he could have been taking it that okay.
He takes
Aside from the fact that he's a fictional comic book character, of course. Aside from
I love that's always the through line. Everything is like, he is not real. So...
I mean, yeah, there's always that.
Look, I think, we're obviously like goofing around kind of sort of because this gives me more credence to understand that Children of the Atom was probably canceled because this is happening.
Oh,
this is happening really fast. I feel like this was supposed to be a way more developing plot point that all of a sudden he's just, I love Relinquish.
Yeah.
Without speaking to her, I've relinquished you. So you may have her.
Yeah, like it was done on the side. Like when you get traded, like when players get traded from teams and they don't even know. They be like, what? They find out via text message.
It's like
or on Twitter or something like that. Like, nigga, what?
It's like you're in court and you're just like, Your Honor, sidebar, please. And then you go into a room and talk about it by yourselves.
Yeah. Listen, I want to dead the contract. I don't want to be with her.
Yeah. No, it's pretty wild. So yeah.
So much for progressive.
That's how
progressive
that's how it
ownership
ends.
Over women. All right, Gabe.
So yeah, that works out. Even we cut over to some other night where I guess Billy and Carmen have gotten to the point where they're full on making out now. Gabe is just looking to the side, and I'm like, dude, why are you hanging out with them at this point? This feels very unhealthy.
Why don't you go hang out with your boy that play ball, man?
Yeah, take some time.
He might need some real friends.
For real, take some time.
Leave these busters alone.
Yeah, it's not like even like you can not hang. You don't have to hang out with them ever again. You can see them again. Just give yourself some time. You're clearly not over it. You're looking to the side and whistling as they're full out making out in front of you. Well, it's like Gabe is like, I don't even like most of these people. I was only in.
I thought the wings were cool.
I mean,
that was fun.
I was only in it for the wings, I guess, and my girl that I've relinquished. So,
yo, how we feel about Mentor, iBoy Mentor?
Oh yeah, iBoy is well. I mean, I like iBoy a lot. X Factor, the biggest impact that X Factor has had is made iBoy cool. But sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Who knows if that'll be...
All right, I don't really have final thoughts.
I also don't. This was a weird one.
Cool. Thought it was going to be something more than it was, and it wasn't.
I mean, it was canceled. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's fine. The next X book we have is X-Force number...
Fallen Angels.
What? Fallen Angels? Oh, yeah, just another...
Oh, in the same pile as that. Dunzo.
Okay, so X-Force.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Coco.
X-Force number 22. Last we left off there, Zeno has been experimenting with telefloronic weapons and stuff, so the X Factor's on it, trying to figure out what the hell that is, what's going on there, and they have come across this Man-Thing-esque kind of guy who calls himself Manslaughter. He's kind of like a Man-Thing that was created by Weapons Plus, so, but he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. He's a nice
who's not a nice guy?
Beast. Because
Yeah.
as they're talking to him, trying to get some information, Beast casually just chops off Manslaughter's fingers and is like, "Excuse me, I'm doing an experiment." Chop. And dude, I wish that fucking Manslaughter had just snapped Beast's neck at that point.
Even if he's gonna come back, it's fine.
Because the boy is reckless, and he needs to understand that there are consequences to actions. He's not...
So you know how the doctor tries to fake you out when you get a needle? Like when people are scared to get the needle, that like talk to them about something and just boop.
Yeah.
You just die like real quick. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
What's the needle?
For real. So yeah, we get this issue from the perspective of a guy whose wife was killed, presumably by the drugs that Krakoa gives to the humans that prolongs human life and cures any disease. Apparently, there's pollen in these drugs that are somewhat addictive, and his wife was addicted to these pollens, and the addiction drove her to death. So, allegedly. So he's just been out for it ever since the totally not sus man in a all white shirt, all white suit, but with a peacock on one sleeve thing, pulled up and said, it was all Krakoa's fault. And he was like, "Yeah, you seem trustworthy."
You're right. You're right.
So he goes around just spreading the telefloronic thing for Zeno. And in order to solve this entire problem, Manslaughter talks to Krakoa itself, and as this guy is just infecting members of the Order of X, and sending them over to Krakoa using their telefloronic stuff, because people who are possessed by these telefloronic weapons can access Krakoa because they can talk to the gates to let them in.
Scary.
They attack certain Krakoa, like Blob gets attacked at the bar because he's the bartender of Krakoa. And Manslaughter, Wolverine, and Domino all meet up with this evil doctor dude, and they fight him and his weird plant clones. Manslaughter walks up to the guy and is like, "Hey, I've got a secret for you. I talked to Krakoa, and he knows a lot about your wife. And it turns out that the actual bad guy behind your wife's death was the Xeno guy." And he's like, "You're lying." No.
Because that would mean that I'm the biggest asshole of the planet.
There's no other way that I'm not the biggest douchebag on the planet Earth.
You have to be lying.
No other way. So,
And I understood. I felt him. I was like, yeah. I would probably have that same reaction. I mean, you turned yourself into a monster already and completely jumped out the window.
Yeah.
From the 70th floor.
Yeah. But in that case, the telefloronic stuff starts to wear off, and they all start dying. Him and all of the people he infected with the telefloronic thing.
Because they killed the original.
Yeah. So
thing. Yeah.
They die. Wolverine takes Manslaughter back to the Olympic Peninsula, and that's kind of the end.
Yeah, but what's exciting?
The next
what's
issue
on the preview for next?
Yeah, it looks like Colossus's brother with the Cerebro sword is finally going to get addressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
An alright couple of X books. Nothing really like mind blowing. I wasn't like blown away by any of them yet. So hopefully next week will be a little better on that front. Moving on to Daredevil number 33. I'm gonna jump the gun. VGI.
VGI, sure, why not?
Certified VGI.
It was a very
Certified
close
VGI.
between that and Children of the Atom.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
we did get a lot of substantial joy out of that. Meanwhile, let's talk about Daredevil. So this starts off with a flashback to 10 weeks ago at the Ravencroft Institute in the sub-basement where Kingpin was demanding that these evil science guys help him basically have a mind-controlled bullseye that he can just aim at people at will. And that, of course, backfired, as we know. The way
That's such a roundabout way to get the things done. Anyway.
Well, the initial
all
plan,
that money, bro. You couldn't buy some cool tech. You couldn't buy an Iron Man suit or something.
Nope. I mean, to be like, he only asked for Bullseye to be controlled. The scientists took that and said, "Let's clone him," and that's why there's so many Bullseyes around. Is because
Yeah, they bugged out.
They wild out for respect, and that's what happened. So
All of it.
last we left off, Daredevil, Matt Murdock, was exploded in the basement of the jail that he's in, and Elektra
Of
just got
secrecy and radioactiveness.
yeah, a secret sea of radioactiveness.
Secrecy and
Oh,
the cellular secrecy and radioactiveness.
Yeah, all right, I like it.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I remembered it.
I mean, that's how I would call it too. You're such a poet, dude. You have such a way with words. Okay, so and meanwhile, Elektra Daredevil has just got stabbed up by a bullseye. So there's a bunch of bullseyes around her, and she's just already analyzing the situation. Just like, man, bullseye. They're just trying to make me suffer. I can't.
She knows.
I'm at an advantage with two of them because they're very close where Bullseye is less effective. But there's a whole other one up there with just happily screwing on a silencer so he could shoot me. So, all I know is that these two are not killing me today. She does ninja smoke bomb to impede their vision, takes down two of the bullseyes, uses one of them as like a human shield for the sniper, and jumps off of the roof with it, and basically slams him down into a car. So
Pretty gangster.
I mean, pretty cool for a fighter at a disadvantage. And she's stuck behind this car as this bullseye is doing his bullseye shit, ricocheting bullets off of things just to get her. And she just like takes the gun that she took from one of the bullseyes and shoots wildly into the sky because obviously she doesn't want they're using silencers so nobody hears the noise. And she basically sounds an alarm. And before she blacks out, she sees the silhouette of Iron Man and Spider-Man coming to her aid.
I love that so much. I don't know why. I don't know why it gives me so much joy when they pull up in this comic, but it does.
I'll tell you why. In this specific situation, it's because it feels like a whole universe. Like they all live in the same city, so she can, in theory, call them.
Very realistic.
Yeah.
Right. You would imagine. That's something that I feel like. Remember the old debates of years ago? You want to talk about 10 years ago? I used to be like, how is Batman ever in any problem when the Flash can literally get anywhere in less than a second?
Yeah, valid point. Honestly, I have no real argument outside of that, besides the fact that I don't know, man. Flash is busy.
I guess, yeah, he's very busy.
He could be busy right now. Meanwhile, back at Izzy's hideout, she's calling Butch, or is he Mitt? I don't know what. He's Butch, right? The son of Kingpin or something.
Yes, yeah.
And she's basically saying that, like, man, my son ran away, and I guess I can't blame him because I've been busy with Kingpin and my other son got killed. So.
Who was the other son she had?
I think she just.
No, I know. I remember the one that died. He was the one who Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Blowhard, I guess.
Yeah, the wife and the Matt Murdock happened. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Murdock slept with his wife. He relinquished his
Yep.
girl to Matt Murdock. Not even-
No, he didn't relinquish it.
No.
Matt Murdock took that, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. That was not one of his proudest moments.
No, not at
I
all.
was not feeling that.
His Catholic guilt was blaring. So basically she explains that like her son is gone, and you know she's really kind of losing it at this point because she's basically lost her entire family, and you know they get off the phone and basically Butch looks over to Mike Murdock, Matt Murdock's twin brother, and is like, man, her son's gone, dude. I don't know what we're going to do now. He's like, what? That's our whole plan. We were supposed to kidnap him and hold him for ransom until she gives up the kingpin position. What are we going to do now? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe we could track him down. There's a lot going on right now. Bullseye and Daredevil are out there. We can't really be crazy about it. And they get kind of interrupted by this news story where we see the fallout of the explosion at Matt Murdock's jail. As police officers are just surrounding the jail. And it turns out that there's a hostage situation happening after all that, it seems. And Detective Cole is brought in to kind of like deal with the situation. As soon as Cole gets there, they get a call, and it's obviously Matt on the other end, where he basically just tells the negotiator that I know he's here. I can hear his heart. I can hear his heart. Send Nicole North in. And Cole's like, damn. All right. And he takes off his jacket and he's about to go in. We get this scene, which I know probably got you excited, Josh, where Elektra wakes up in Tony's lab.
Hell yeah. You know, I'm here for it.
I like this little conversation they have because we don't really see Elektra and Tony Stark interact all that much.
No, never.
I
mean, let alone regular Daredevil, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Elektra, that was very unique.
Yeah, so she's basically like, man, why am I even here? You should be out there looking for Bullseye. Your suit can track people, right? It should have been Spider-Man who stayed here, and you should have been out there. It's like, I don't know, man. Spider-Man's not nothing. I mean, like, my suit can track people, but the Bullseye situation is a lot more complicated, obviously. Like, I could track a Bullseye, but who's to say whether that's the real Bullseye? It's like a bunch of Bullseyes out there.
Yeah, he said something's going on. Bullseye's been avoiding, like, a lot of the surveillance tech. So there's something else going on that they're not really sure about. But, oh, yeah, I guess you could finish this little exchange between her and Iron Man, then I wanted to say something.
Oh, yeah. Elektra gets up, and Tony's like, look, man, I don't know, man. Maybe you should stay here and heal properly. I have nanobots in you.
Points his repulse at her, too.
I think that's like, he's just like, settle down. Like, I don't think he's pointing it at her to hurt her with it.
It looks like it.
It looks like it because it's just always on his hand. But
Yeah.
But she's basically like, look, I don't know you, but I know enough about Tony Stark to say the way to your heart is to ask for an upgrade. So she looks at Tony and says, make me a bullseye killing machine. And Tony's like, And she says, figuratively, of course. But I'm like, oh my God, are we going to get another dope Elektra Daredevil Iron Man suit this time?
Bro, he already had the suit made for him, didn't he? But
No.
Daredevil, maybe he'll modify it for her. Yo, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Nah, but her uniform's already sick. It's okay. I don't mind. It is what it is.
I mean, imagine
it
if
was going to be temporary anyway.
it could be a different flavor of sick, you know?
Yeah.
I'm very into that.
Like this is berry, and the next flavor is going to be wild berry. Yeah.
Yo,
But on a
this is my
serious
wild
note,
berry suit.
So, all right. On a more serious note, I guess it's really obvious, but this was subtle character development for Elektra as well, and this is why Daredevil's so good, and why good writing can take a series anywhere, no matter what characters you're using and what story you're telling. So check this out, right? She's been learning from different people, but really, it's not so much about the people; it's about the perspectives, right? All the time.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 people off the top of my head, right? You could say 4, but not really 4. But all right, so you got Matt Murdock himself, the girl that she was helping raising after she was orphaned by her own hands, actually. Or was that Bloody Mary? I forget. Anyway,
No.
And now Tony for a split second, and that's why I kind of wanted to count Spider-Man, but they didn't really have too much of a conversation. He was really kind of just checking her, like he tends to do to Daredevil people, I guess, like you said before. But no, so I just wanted to make a point of that. How Tony, his perspective is that of someone that's, he's not super idealistic. He understands that shit needs to get done when it needs to get done, and he's a man of science and he's smart. But even his perspective, what he told Elektra, what he responded to her saying, "Oh, Spider-Man should have healed me. You should have been out there to be more effective on catching the guy." And, it's funny, like this is also repeated in My Hero Academia where Tony makes the point of like, bro, like the priority was saving you, and that is the priority, period. Saving people. That is why we're heroes, to protect. We'll get them. You know what I'm saying? Now you can make the argument that, oh, well, Iron Man being out there looking for him would probably end up saving, like, you'll probably get to Bullseye faster than Spider-Man would, arguably, and maybe he could save more lives. I think that's debatable, but I can also understand why someone would say that on paper. But again, it's not the point. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We knew right then and there somebody was hurt and needed to be helped. That's something that just does not occur to Elektra's mind. You know what I mean? She's just kill. Kill, make love to Matt Murdock. Kill. You know what I'm saying? That's literally her arc.
Her thought
always
process.
In Marvel. Right?
Yeah.
So
no, I agree with
yeah,
that.
it's cool. I think she's really gonna come out of this series changed until another writer picks it up and turns her into a slut again.
Jesus Christ.
A slut, an undeveloped slut.
All right. That's pretty good.
Because there's nothing wrong with
All right.
being however she wants to. You know what I'm saying? They over-sexualize the fucking females in these books.
Yeah,
but in this book, she actually has some depth to her.
I agree. She's great in this book.
Yeah.
In any case, we get like a nice 1-page, where's Wilson Fisk at moment. Wilson Fisk is like, Typhoid Mary is like, hey, so I keep getting messages from Wesley about this whole thing with the prison. And Wilson's like, don't even bring that up. I'm so tired. This man lives in my... Daredevil lives in my brain rent-free. I'm done. I don't want to live like this anymore. Good night. And I guess he retires to his quarters, and Typhoid Mary looks off to the side, sees her blades, and is like, That's when we cut back into the prison. Detective Cole is walking into the prison, thinking about how, Daredevil changed his entire perspective on the law and police work in general and all that stuff as he's being escorted into the prison by these bad guys. And we arrive on a splash page where Matt Murdock is sitting atop a mountain of desks and chairs like the fucking Dawn Devil, more like it, just standing up there and is like,
he said, look at me, I have a chair. King of the castle.
Yeah.
From Borat.
King of the castle. So yeah, he's like, Cole North is like aggressively guided to Daredevil by some inmate, and the inmate just like, he gets knocked out by Cole, and man, Daredevil is like, I forgot to warn him that he was escorting Cole North, the big bad detective who took down Daredevil. Care to try again? As he sits on his mountain of desks and chairs with his goons.
I be lying. Oh
no, that's it. With his goons around him. Oh man,
they don't look too good right now, man. They look kind of, I don't know.
Well, they're all like bleeding out their eyes.
Not the cool kind, not the X-Men kind.
Yeah.
fucked up, real sick, you don't want to get next to kind.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Maybe, I mean, I would imagine this is affecting Matt too. I mean, he's literally orchestrated a prison riot. I did not see that coming.
Neither did I.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it's.
I thought this last page was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know where this is going. I did not expect that this is where it was going. Cool.
They fight again.
Yeah, I'm
I ain't gonna lie, Cole beat his ass, man, when he was off his game. I like Cole, but
it's over for him now. He's
defend your title, my nigga.
I don't think he's actually
They ain't gonna jump him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna jump him.
I don't think he's actually gonna do anything to Cole. I think this is just like a red herring. Because I don't know. This is Matt Murdock we're talking about, Mr. Catholic. He's not gonna do anything bad.
Well, look at the cover of this comic.
This cover is pretty menacing. I'll give him that.
He's under the influence, bro. Too much of that Jesus juice.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but this is a great issue nonetheless. Lots of development for Elektra, like Josh said. Yeah, I don't got a lot of thoughts. You pretty much said everything that was on my mind.
That was subtle development because it wasn't Tony Stark like, you must worry about saving lives. No, he kind of did it with it. He said it to her. He made a point through action.
That's true.
And how second nature was.
That he did.
That's some subtle character development.
Character.
But, whatever. What would I know about that, right?
Oh, boy. Well,
wait, how's that subtle if he just said it?
We're not doing this. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that, actually.
I thought you guys just said he said that.
No, he said that today. I don't want to start another thing. I don't want to start some shit, but he didn't say that
I'd just be hating out of nowhere. Like, he'll just shoot strays of hatred out for no reason.
Yeah.
Hey, I was making a point that I can respect subtle character development when it's done right, in my opinion. When it's done in a way that I guess I like.
I guess what Josh is saying, it's more of a show don't tell type of thing with this particular instance. Even though they're very different scenarios, and I don't want to start any shit.
I got nothing to say. I would only be a listener, I swear.
All right. Well, with that being said, we should move back to our manga for our final two. Let's get into it. Black Clover. This is Black Clover chapter 302, Convergence of Hope. Last we left off, Laurel Pachica was rescued by Asta, and Noelle found the strength to go back into Saint stage. So, yeah, they go off into battle. Noelle, Undine, what?
Real quick, can we give Black Clover the L of the week for not?
No, we can't do that.
Yo, come on. It was actually a pretty cool chapter.
No, not at all. Hey, listen.
For not getting RGC.
I'm not going to be bitter. I'm not going to be a sore winner.
No, guys. We got to punish them for not giving RGC to Black Clover. This is what happens.
To be
when
fair,
you don't
I
vote.
will be fair to the crowd. The poll that I ran, I started yesterday. So it was basically a 2-day poll. So that may have been on me.
Wow, you rigged the voting process.
I'm not complaining, but
I didn't rig. There were still 54 votes, which is a pretty average number for us. And I don't know. It was a mistake. I don't think I rigged it. Whatever.
All right,
if you
Black
feel like it was
Cloverins,
rigged,
get him, Black Cloverins.
I mean, come for me.
for what it's worth, this was the runner-up for me.
It was a good chapter. I'll say that. The chapter continues onward. There's a lot of minion soldiers left for Megicula. Undine is worried that they don't have enough Saint Stage power to deal with them. But that's when that's when Rill pulls through with his picture magic, Master of Valhalla. It's kind of cool. And Charlotte pulls up with her True Briar magic, and they do the things and stop them. But there's one big guy left as Luck pulls up and just drop kicks this man craters through his shoulders and out. It's I was like,
there's no other way to say it, Chris. He violated that. He violated him.
Yeah,
I know he was just fodder at the end of the day, but jeez.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that. And he's not done because apparently Gaja is still around. And he's like,
he turned him into one of those hollows from Bleach. That thing looks like one of the things they fought. That's what happened. He killed that dude and he got reborn as a hollow from hell and went to go fight Ichigo. That's exactly what happened.
He got violated so hard he entered a one shot at this point.
Yeah.
Gaja's alive, and Gaja's like, I'm practically dead already. Even so, I'm grateful that I can still fight for Queen Loro Pachica. And that's when Luck pulls up next to Gaja, and they both combine their ultimate lightning powers in a very cool 2-page spread that I'm sure will look incredible in the anime, honestly. As they zoom straight through more dudes' heads, turning them all into hollow creatures from Bleach. As Noelle pulls up and gets closer to Megicula and plunges her sword straight through her curse magic. And Megicula is fading away because her plans to emerge this way have failed. And she's like, whoa, this was crazy. Even though I'm incomplete, I'm still surprised. I'm genuinely startled that you managed to press me this hard. She said I'm still... I think she was trying to say, like, you know... Oh, no, she literally says it on the next page. She stops her with that barrier. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't think Noelle wasn't getting through. No. But in any case, she's just like, this is as far as you go. But then Noelle is encased in water shields, which dispel, I guess, the curse magic that Megicula was doing. And it turns out that Nozel has pulled up and is like, I've waited. How dare you show yourself in front of my family again? You have no idea how long I've waited for this moment. Go front ponytail Nozel. Yeah, this is a situation he should be there for. For sure. He killed his mom, right? So yeah, right in front of him. So yeah, very cool. We haven't seen a lot, like, really from Nozel, so this will be a cool moment for him. And, you know, Noelle's arc is very tied to her family. So, you know, this makes sense for Noelle to go through with her older brother who's a captain. I'm into it. Very excited to see what's next for Black Clover. I thought this was a really good chapter as well. Yeah, it was lit. Mm-hmm. I want to see her brother catch wrecked. Hell yeah. You ready to move on to our final manga? This is Undead Unluck. Chapter 74, let's get this plan started. And I'll tell you what, this chapter was really cool for me. Yeah. I thought this was really cool. It warmed my little traditional shonen heart, you know? So basically, we start off with the younger members of Union just kind of like working, like training, working off their stress, whatever. And we cut back to Andy, who's just working on a strategy on his own. When Huiz pulls up next to him and is like, "Hey, what are you thinking about?" And he's like, "Matchups, you know, who is gonna fight who?" And I'm like, "Who?" The fastest way to my heart is one-on-one matchups with characters in shonen manga. That's the quickest way to my heart. And he's just like, man, most of our group is young and inexperienced. I don't even know if a lot of us are going to make it out alive. And Huiz actually has, I don't know if this was like shown before, but she has a prosthetic hand now after losing it to Billy back in the Battle for Winter. So basically she's like, explains how Andy's very similar to Victor, his alter ego personality. The true Andy is Victor, this ancient warrior guy. But, you know, she's like, you're basically very similar, but, you know, people can't accomplish things on their own. You know, we should be together. A lot of that going around in a lot of shonen manga. So, you know, as long as we have friends, we'll get together. Big old thing. Big old nice character moment. We get another 2-page spread of Andy being like, this place is pretty sick, huh? This organization that is. And I guess they go through their game plan together. And the next day we cut over to Operation Neutralize UMA Spring and ... as all of the Union members show up in black cloaks to go meet their respective matchups. We have the scientist dude versus Tele. We have Untouchable. Untouchable and Untruth versus Rip, Latla, and the Bunny Kid. We have Unmove and Unstoppable versus Top and what's this kid's name versus the Undecrease guy. And
Yeah.
those are all the matchups we know off the bat. So there are a couple more. We don't know who Huiz is fighting. We don't know who Andy is fighting. So with that, they all know their matchups, and they're all going to head to them, and that's where the chapter ends. I thought that 2-page spread with all of them like lined up against their people. I'm like, yeah! I got so damn excited.
I thought that was really cool. Man, I almost gave this chapter to RGC like when I first read this, just because of that. But, you know, I'm going to wait to see how the fights turn out.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the scientist dude because he's one of the ones we've seen the least, you know. I have no idea what his deal is. He only
which person?
The scientist dude with the orbs.
Yeah. That's the person that's fighting against the satellite dude, right?
Yeah, with Tele. Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Yeah. But I don't know. I had a great time with this chapter. I was very excited to see where it goes. Especially since like we this is another manga that we haven't seen a whole ton from the supporting cast outside of like Shen and Unmove. Unmove is a newer character, but I guess Tatiana we've seen a lot of stuff from her. We haven't seen a lot from Top and Orb Guy, so I'm very excited to see it. But that's all I gotta say about Undead Unluck. Are you all settled up on that?
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, that was Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. This was a bit of a longer one, but I think worth it. We had a pretty fun show. I hope you guys thought so as well. You could follow me at the Chris Espinal, Josh at JDCole_37, Brian at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. We do a weekly Really Good Chapter of the Week poll we would love for you all to take part in. So get in on that. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. We are on there, or on the YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, all of those things. We would very much appreciate it. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk to us about. And we'll read it on the show. Who knows? But with that being said, that was it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next week. And stay safe, New Jump City.